tithing binding upon all Christians today? I got the answer. Stay tuned. Hey there, I'm Renee, and one of our viewers wants to know, is tithing binding upon all Christians today, as some churches claim and practice it? Now, when it comes to answering that question, we must understand three concepts: covenant, binding, and command. So when we take a look at covenant, one of the first questions we have to ask is, what is a covenant? And basically, a covenant is an agreement or contract between two or more parties. So the next question we must ask is this: who were the parties involved with the old covenant? And according to the Bible, it was God and ancient Israel. And we know this when we refer to Exodus chapter 6 and 7, chapter 6 verse 7, and Exodus chapter 19 and verses 3 through 6. Now this is important because tithing is only binding to the parties involved in the covenant or the old covenant. So let's take a closer look at the meaning of binding and what it means to be bound by law. Now, the word binding means to put under an obligation. For example, the phrase bound by law means a person or group must follow the law that applies to them. In this case, ancient Israel was bound by the law of Moses, which is also called the Old Covenant. They were bound by law to not only follow the tithe command, but also the other 612 commandments of the law. So now let's take another look, or a closer look rather, at command, and specifically the tithe command. A command is an order or instruction a person or persons must follow. The command is typically given by someone of higher authority. In this case, God is the higher authority who commanded the ancient Israelites to tithe. And nowhere in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, will you find a verse that says God commanded Christians to tithe. So let's do a recap. Is tithing binding upon all Christians today, as some churches claim and practice it? And the answer is no. Tithing is not binding upon Christians because the tithe command is only binding to the people who entered into the old covenant agreement with the Lord, and those people are the ancient Israelites. And I just noticed I'm missing an N in ancient. But anyway, excuse my misspelling here, but I hope that answers your question. And as always, I thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like this video, and share this video. Peace and blessings. Biblical tithing, which consisted of ancient Israel offering a tenth of its livestock and agricultural produce, was important to God, and here's why. Number one, the tithe command was one of 613 commandments ancient Israel had to follow in order for God to bless them. Although tithing was important, it was important within the context of the whole law. In other words, God wanted ancient Israel to follow all of the commandments, not just tithing.